I'm just going to do a quick tutorial today to walk you through setting up your survey through Google Forms. So make sure you're in your Drive, go to New, click More, and Google Forms. All right, so when you get this, it does take a second to load, so give it a second. So you want to title it probably Product Research, and then the name of your product. And then you want to go up here and make sure that you name it, because if you don't, it's going to be in your Drive and you're not going to remember what it is. All right, so if you want to collect good data, one of the steps in collecting good data is having good questions, and also getting your information from your survey respondents that's going to be helpful. So keep in mind the tips and techniques in the articles I shared with you. Keep in mind the end in mind. Keep in mind what your survey objectives are. And one of the things that you are going to have to figure out for this is the demographics of who would buy your product. So you can have a question like, please choose your age. And when you're doing this, since we're going to be sending out at school, I would do some age ranges at school as well. You also want to make sure that you're keeping in mind that you want to have demographics with people that have similar interests. Once you hit 31, you can start going by decades, but make sure that you don't have two choices. Like if you did 15 to 18 and then 18 to 25, if you're 18, which one do you choose, right? All right, so then, and remember, since we're going to be sending this out via email through school and also on Twitter and Facebook and things like that, you want to have lots of age ranges. So we could probably do 61 plus right here. Now, if you want to have it be a required question like I have on your performance assessments, you click this, which means they cannot submit the question without filling that one in. There are different types of question choices. So the short answer, like where you put your name on your performance assessment, that's short answer. If you want paragraph, which you probably do not, if you look at the tips and tricks, you would choose that. Multiple choice check boxes are if you want them to choose like 3 or 4 or 5 things. Drop down menu is exactly what it sounds like. It's a drop down just like this is. Linear scale, I don't think you're going to want a linear scale, but if you can choose that. If you want to insert the date or the time, you can do that too. If you need to have a question that has the exact same choices on here, which for this one, you wouldn't necessarily have the same ages, but you can just click duplicate and it'll give you another question with those same choices in there, so you don't have to rewrite that. If you need to get rid of a question, you can delete it. If you just want to add a question, you can do that. Now you can also move it so that you can change the order of your questions, all right, like that. When you go to your responses, this is how you're going to see your responses, but obviously we don't have any responses, so you're not going to be able to see those yet. There's a couple other things. You can change the color palette of it if you want. You can insert a picture. You can also change a title and description. You can add an image, a video, or add a section to your surveys, but remember, keep them simple. All right, so you always want to preview and see what your respondents are seeing. And this is the URL that you are going to share. You want to use your URL shortener because it's going to take up far fewer characters when we tweet this out. You can copy it like that, but it is very important that you do not send out this URL right here, because this means they can edit your survey, and then that defeats the entire purpose. All right. So if you want to make sure that they can only submit one response, you could do that here, but I don't suggest for the purposes of this you do that. And the reason for that is because it requires people to log in, and people aren't going to take the time to do that. If you want to put a message beyond your response has been recorded, you can do that. If you want to have a show a progress bar, so for an example, it tells them they're 10% done or 20% done, you can also do that as well. So if I go to preview and I take the survey, so I'm going to be in this category. See, it says 100%, you made it. I click submit. Now, this is what they're going to see. If you go to yours and you click on responses, this is what you're going to see. And this is the data that you need to start pulling out and putting into your as screenshots into your documents. You can also make a spreadsheet. You click that. You want to create, the first time you do it, you want to create a new spreadsheet. Otherwise, you can select an existing. But once you link it to the spreadsheet, it's always linked to that one spreadsheet. And this is where your data is going to be. All right, and this is what's really important, because you're going to be doing screenshots of these and putting them into your documents and into your business plan. So you want to make sure that A, you're asking questions that are going to get information that is helpful, and B, this is helping you determine to whom you're selling it, for how much you're selling it. Is there like a gender that's more important? There's lots of things that you need to consider. So again, keep in mind your tips and techniques that I shared with you in those articles, and also keep in mind your objective. What do you want to get out of this when you do this? If you have any other questions, go ahead and Google them, ask them, be a problem solver. You got this.